Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. Today I have a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers review for you. This is the Legacy Falconzord and the Legacy Ninja Megazord. This guy is relatively old. I kind of waited on buying him at first because I was hoping the price would go down a little bit, and just because by himself he doesn't seem like all that much fun. But now that this has been released, I knew I absolutely had to have them both. So I tracked them down. I was kind of worried that now that the Ninja Megazord was out, this thing would start flying off shelves because a lot of people waited. So I got both of them. I decided to just kind of do them together as a joint review. I figured that if I put the Falconzord up by itself, probably not a lot of people would watch it. Plus, the fun of these two toys is going to be the compatibility together. Again, he's not all that fun on his own, but we're definitely going to take a look at these two individually and then combined together. So very excited. But just taking a look at the packaging, you can see here that they decided to go... I'll take this out of the way for a minute. They decided to go with a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie style packaging, which is reminiscent of the movie that came out in, I want to say, 96? I think that's right. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I think that's right. 95, 96. So that's the style packaging they went with. I think it looks really nice. I kind of like the embossed lettering that we're kind of used to with the Legacy line. Colors and everything look great. As you can see, these are all Toys R Us exclusives. Not really much going on there. On the side here, it says The Secret of the Power Zords. And you get that in 3 different languages. On the back, you can see a picture of the Falconzord. It kind of teased the Ninja Megazord back when this was first released. And then over here, it just says The Story, which I believe is the story of the movie. Yeah, it talks about the giant egg that has Ivan Ooze. Wow, I was blanking on his name there for a minute. So yes, the story of Ivan Ooze. If you haven't seen the original Power Rangers movie, it's fun. You know, probably not the best thing in the universe, but if you're a Power Rangers fan, I definitely think you'd enjoy it. So that's it for the packaging for the Falconzord. Taking a look at the packaging for the Ninja Megazord. Again, done in the movie style. Very similar. You kind of have the movie film going on there at the bottom, which I think is pretty cool. Not a whole lot going on. Unfortunately, mine had one of those spider, like the spider locks on it with the security device because it's like a $100 item. So I kind of messed up my box there a little bit. Again, here is the story. Same story from the other side of the box. And then here on the back, all 5 of the Ninja Zords coming together to form the Ninja Megazord. Also shows its compatibility with the Ninja Falconzord, or the Falconzord to make the Ninja Falcon Megazord. That's a mouthful. In any case, this thing looks great. I've heard nothing but great things about it. I'm very excited to get these out of the packaging and take a closer look. So let's do that now. So here's the Falconzord straight out of the packaging. You do have to attach his 2 wing pieces. It's very simple. You literally just plug them right in. There we go. As I make it sound easy and then have a hard time doing it, but they will go on. There you go. So it's pretty impressive wingspan, I have to say. I like that a lot. And the nice thing is his talons here are die-cast metal, so it gives him a lot of weight in the right area so that he stays balanced, won't fall over or anything like that. You obviously have a hinge here, which can go back. Yeah, it can go forward too. I assume this is how the will connect to the Shogun Megazord. You can see that there are clips here and here, and there are also clips on the inside, right here. So I believe that's how he's going to connect to the Shogun Megazord, assuming they do that, but I think it's pretty clear that they will do that at this point. But everything is paint, no stickers. You can pull these wing sections out after you connect them to give it like a little bit of extra articulation, which I think is pretty cool. So you can kind of put them back and then have them folded forward a little bit. They fold both ways, so that's nice. And then you can just push it back in if you would like to affirm the wings like that. If you'd like the straight across look, you can go ahead and do that. Head does have a little ratchet in there, very nice and tight. Really like the look of the head. I love the red eyes and the gold beak. The beak does open. Little piece right here to kind of put your finger, push it back in. So beak opens and closes. Appreciate that a lot. But everything, like I said, everything on this is paint. There's no stickers, which I think is very nice. I love all the gold trim. The dark kind of gunmetal gray. These plastic tips are solid plastic. That's not paint, I don't believe. The red. Now this doesn't have any kind of electronics or anything. It does not light up. I know some people were probably hoping for that. But I really do like the inclusion of the wing piece here. I kind of like that, or you can kind of bring it forward a little bit. So there's a lot of nice solid ratchets in the wings that really do a nice job. And then down here in the feet, obviously this can move around. This is a ratchet. There's some swivel here, and then there's a joint here and here, so you can close the talons if you like, if you want them to grab something or perch on your finger. See if I can get this going. Will he stay? There you go. It's like my own little pet falcon. That doesn't balance perfectly, but it's probably just because I don't have it balanced perfectly. But if you can distribute the weight, he will sit. So I think that's fun. But the talons are pure die-cast metal. And I think it's smart to have that weight at the bottom, because he's a little top-heavy with the wings, which makes sense. But that keeps him nice and grounded. He's not falling over. He's not moving around. You kind of have this tail as kind of a stabilizer that can bend as far up as that. So I really like the Falconzord. Again, a lot of people, thought that the price was high because he doesn't really do much on his own. And I understand that. When you just put this guy out by himself, he doesn't do a whole lot. I assume the reason they did this guy first was because he's Tommy's Zord, and Tommy's always been very popular. So I think that's why they put him out first. But on his own, he's a little boring. But it's a very nice toy. Nice plastic. I love all the articulation that it has. The die-cast feet are very nice. Paint apps, everything very nice. Very, very nice Zord. But let's go ahead and let's move on to the main event of the Legacy Ninja Megazord. So here is the Legacy Ninja Megazord. I decided to show him in Megazord mode first because most of the parts in the package, when you take it out of the box, are already in the Megazord formation. Like the bear comes in this formation, the arms, the head's pretty close. The frog does come in the packaging in the frog configuration though, but I figured I would just show this off first. It looks great. I mean, it looks very similar to the original, but you can tell that there are definitely some really nice differences. These pieces are all die-cast metal. There's die-cast metal here in the feet of the frog for stability. These pieces for the hand of the frog, and I'll just show you how one of these pops out. This bottom piece is die-cast metal. So he really looks fantastic, and there are no stickers. It's all molding. Down here on the frog, this is all molded down here. Taking a look at the side, this is all molding and paint. Not really much going on the back here. Or on the side. But I mean, this is not a sticker. This was a sticker on the original. The eyes and everything are all painted. Looks really fantastic. Articulation-wise, the arms do move. And these are Zord Builder ports. You can see right there. The only thing that kind of stinks is when you go to move this, it tends to move this piece on the bear, which I wish it just kind of stayed in place better. I mean, if you just hold it and move, I think it's just because the Zord Builder ports are very tight. And I don't notice it so much going down. It's only when you move up, because that's the way these joints bend. So it's not a huge problem, just a minor inconvenience. Just if you want to move it up, make sure you hold it and then just move it. And over time, they may loosen. I don't know how tight the Zord Builder ports will always be, but... So there is that. The head can actually tilt back, which I assume is mostly when you combine it with the Falconzord, so he can kind of look forward where he's flying. But that's really cool, something the original definitely did not do. The other thing you can do is with the legs, the frog legs here and here, you can actually bend them out to the side, and then these ankles can tilt in so that he can stand wide-legged like that. That's really neat. I think that's really cool. That's definitely more points of articulation than the original had, and it looks really good. The shiny bits of the metallic die-cast metal look great. I love the look of them. You can, because of the way the ape transforms, you can kind of pull this down and use it as like a 90-degree angle for the hand. I mean, it does make his one arm look a little bit longer than the other, but not so ridiculous. So that's kind of cool. If you prefer to just leave it like that, you can certainly do that as well. Sometimes it does feel like if I'm just moving it, like it slides out a little bit, but it's not a huge problem. Mostly when I'm moving it down, because if I pull it like this, it'll just pull it like that. So if I just do it from the top, then it's not a problem. But overall, this guy looks fantastic. But I'm going to go ahead and take him apart, and we'll start looking at the individual animal modes. So taking him apart is pretty much exactly the same as you would take apart the original Ninja Megazord. Just go ahead and pop off the two arms. Put them off to the side. Pop off the head, and then pop off the bear from the frog. So you're going to come to the frog, and you're going to pull this part up and click that up like that. Then you can put the hands out and fold these parts down just like with the original. And then you're going to want to put that out to the side like I showed you could do earlier. Before, the old ones, they were on kind of a bevel joint, so that as you flipped it around, it automatically went out to the side. But because this one gives you the option, it's a straight joint, and then there's a joint on the other part of the leg, or hip rather. And then you can put that to the side. And then there is your frog. So put him off to the side. Coming over to the bear, you're going to actually unplug this piece from his mouth, close his mouth, and then repeg this. It just pops in on two little joints on each side. Very simple. And then put that under his jaw, and then you can open his mouth. You're going to pull this part out just like the original. You're going to pop the feet down like that, and they'll spring out like the original. There you go. And then you're going to pop these parts down just like the original, like they were trying to do in the arm modes. Now there is a little joint here, so you can kind of pop them out and then straighten out the feet if you so choose. And there is your bear. Now the other thing you can do is you can take the two head coverings for the hands, and the blue one you can actually plug in right there on its butt. Just like that. And then this one you can put in underneath here and just kind of wedges in there. So that's storage for the two hand pieces, which is something the original didn't have. It's not perfect, but it's there. Transforming the crane, flip that out and bring this down. I think, does this flip up? Yeah, that piece flips up. That's what connected the head. So you can flip that, or connected the head to the body. And then there you go. That's the crane. Very simple. Wolf, also pretty similar. Flip the legs down. Flip these legs down. And flip out the tail. There you go. There's a tab back here to help you do it. So there's your wolf. And then for the monkey or ape, pull him out. Pop this out. The hands will fold out. Then you close it back up. Very similar to the original. There's just a couple more joints. There you go. And then you can break the legs apart. So that's how you transform it into the individual animals, but we'll go ahead and take a look at each animal individually. So up first we have the Ape Zord. This guy's probably my favorite. He just looks really, really good. He's got articulation here in the wrist, as well as pretty much 180 degrees in the elbow, but that's because of the transformation. And then you can move this around. The head does not move, but it looks fantastic. The paint and the detailing is really nice. I'm going to try to get a little bit closer there so you can take a look. Really nice paint and detailing there in the face. I like that a lot. Now, as I showed earlier, the legs split apart, which is a big deal for this guy. The original did not have that capability. He also comes with two accessories. His two little swords, which of course you can see there are two little peg holes right there, and there's a peg on the back of each sword. So you can pop that on so you can store him on his back, which looks fantastic. There's really nowhere to store them in Megazord mode, so you just kind of have to put them off to the side. But he can store them on his back in this mode. And then of course he can also use one in each hand, so you just take them off and slide it in very simply. Just like that, which looks great. Or you can take them and you can peg them together down here. And then he can wield it as one large weapon, which looks absolutely fantastic. I can't believe that's so amazing that they were able to add this level of detail. It's really, really nice. I think I forgot to mention he does have a bicep swivel, as you can see there. Now the other thing is, when you transform this, these will kind of splay out to the side, these joints. And if you kind of close it like that, so that it's technically not closed 100% accurately, and I'll show you what I mean by that. See how there's just that little bit, like technically it should be closed, and of course it's going to get a little weird on me. It should be closed straight like that, but if you close it just a little bit like that, it gives you a lot more motion in the ball joint in the shoulder, because there is a ball joint there, which is nice, but when you have it closed correctly all the way, it just puts it too close to the body so that the ball joint can't really do what it wants to do. So that's up to your, I should say, prerogative, for lack of a better term. That's your decision. If you want to just mistransform it just a little bit, it really can give them a little bit more range of motion. If you want to transform it all the way, you can do that as well. Completely your choice, but that is an option. But I mean, just taking a look here at all the beautiful paint and molding, there are absolutely no stickers on this guy. He just looks absolutely fantastic, and I think he's easily my favorite out of the 5. Next up we have the Frog. He's pretty similar to the original Frog from the original Ninja Megazord. Nice molded and paint in here. Not really much going on in the back. His mouth does open and close now, which I think is pretty cool. There's not really anything inside, but if you wanted to put something in to act as a tongue, or, you know, just have him eat something in general, I think that's pretty cool. Nice red eyes there. These front hands are on kind of a ball joint, so they can move around. And then, of course, you have the same articulation here from the original. But I think that's pretty neat. I like that they can move around like that, so you can get kind of a little bit nicer pose, or put them together, something like that. I love that the mouth opens. I think that's really cool. I kind of like to just have it open a little bit. I think that looks the best. But that's just personal preference. So overall, I think the Frog looks fantastic. Here's the Bear. And I think he looks pretty good. Now, he does have these two storage abilities for the two hands, but they don't work the best. This one kind of hardly works at all. It kind of looks like he's, you know, having something fall out of his abdomen. It just looks really strange. So this one just kind of like sandwiches in there, but if you kind of move it around, although now it'll prove me wrong, it is possible, so he just kind of falls out. So I appreciate that they did come up with a way to store them, but I personally just like to put them off to the side. He also has this one on his butt. I think it just kind of looks weird, so again, I personally just like to put him off to the side. But this guy looks great. This is all paint. On my original one, I had a sticker here, and it used to peel so bad that like I almost had to rip it off. So I really appreciate that this is all paint. Up here, this is all molding and paint. Beautiful red eyes. Absolutely no stickers. I really appreciate that. He's got a cool little joint right here at the foot. So you can a little bit forward, a little bit back. I appreciate that. You can have a real nice level stance there. Mouth opens and closes. So I think that's pretty cool. You can take this completely off if you wanted to. It's very simple. It just kind of has two super tiny little pegs, and they just kind of pop in right there and there. That way when you transform him, you can put it in his mouth. I mean, you can leave it in his mouth if you like the way that looks in bear mode. It's certainly an option. You can go ahead and do that. But yeah, overall, I really like the look of the bear. I think he looks great, and I'm so appreciative that everything is paint now and molding and no more stickers. Next up, we have the wolf. In my opinion, he's very similar to the original, kind of like the bear is, but he does have some nice improvements. The kind of rear haunches here for his legs are made of die-cast metal. He does have a little bit of movement here possible in the leg, which the original did not have. And that's, of course, for both feet. Same in the front. At that joint, you have a bend. Again, the original did not have that, so I appreciate that. Otherwise, he looks very similar. Mouth can open and close, which is nice. So I do appreciate that you have these extra bends in the legs, and you can get some different poses going. You can kind of have them like lunge forward. You can kind of put the legs a little bit out to the back. So I think that's pretty neat. Just a little bit, you can even have it go a little bit farther back, depending on how you like to pose them. So I think that's cool. I appreciate the extra joints because it gives a lot more posability. Really looks nice. The Crane Zord is probably the most similar to the original in terms of how it transforms and its level of articulation. But this guy has a ton of new molding and paint. You have this silver here on the sides. You have this silver up here. You have this beautiful red and white. And then this paint inside here. You have the beautiful gold trim here. Silver on the sides. And then when you transform it, when you kind of naturally pull this up, it kind of knocks this peg down. And then you can transform it into the head. And I mean, look how beautiful that paint is. Beautiful gold on the mask and the red of the eyes. Beautiful gold crest up here. Even the eyes on the side of the head for the crane. Really well done. Just really nice, beautiful paint apps. Nice molding. I don't think that the original had any stickers on this piece either. But I think the neck was painted pink just so that they could say, hey, this is the Pink Ranger Zord and it's got some pink on it. Whereas now the original red has all been restored, since that's what it looks like on the show, since there was no Pink Ranger in the Sentai. But really nice molding, beautiful paint. It's a very tiny Zord, but it's still very nice. So of course we can't take a look at these two without showing their combined mode. It's very simple to achieve. Just kind of straighten out the wings if you don't have them straight already. Take the feet and fold the bottom part of the talons up, just to kind of get them out of the way, and then you're going to bring this down. Just have the legs hang down like that. Point the head straight back. You can see there's a little clip here and a little clip here. You're going to come around to the back, and you can see there's a little black clip here and here, and you're just going to, boom, clip it just like that. Now you have to be careful, because if you try to move the arms at all, it's going to cause these pieces to move, and if you move them, it's going to completely just fall and slide right off. So that is something you definitely have to be careful of. And they're not the best connectors in the world, but they do hold. And what you're left with is a really nice looking Ninja Falcon Megazord. So I really do like the look of that a lot. If you do want to pretend like he's flying, you can move that head back as we discussed earlier. You kind of have to move the little wings of the crane back a little bit to get it all the way back. But you can see he flies with his head, so he's looking forward, which I think is really cool. Now again, just hold this steady and move the arms, because if the back part moves, the Falconzord will fall off the back. But you can have him flying. You can even put the arms all the way forward, and then he can fly. And I just think that's fantastic. I really, really, really love the look of that. And I mean, as you can see while playing with it, it's not really going to fall off at all. It really only falls off if the kind of back feet of the bear move, which is possible and easy enough to do while you're moving the arms around. So you just want to be really careful about that. Now, the other thing I wanted to just touch on really quick, and I'm just going to go ahead and... The nice thing is, if you do want to detach it quickly, moving that leg is a very easy way to detach it. And I'll see if I can get in close here. I know it's all black. But you can see this little circle spot right here. And there's a little circle spot here on the Falconzord. I really feel like originally there was going to be a Zord Builder port there or something. And that's kind of how they originally expected to attach them. Because if you slide this up, when you push them together, those two things really kind of touch. And I really feel like if you could click it in and then push this in and they clip together, that would make this connection really solid. Like, I still like the clips, and you could clip first and then push in to snap on, and then you'd have a really solid connection that I really don't... I mean, maybe they were afraid that once you connected them, it was really hard to disconnect them. Because I have to say, when I use the original Falconzord with the original Ninja Megazord, sometimes I'm a little worried that those clips are too tight and they'll snap. So maybe that's something they were worried about with this. And that's why they wanted to go the little bit easier clip method. Because it does clip and unclip very easily, which I appreciate. And it holds. It's not going to fall. You just have to make sure you don't move these two shoulder parts, because that's a very easy way to disconnect them. But overall, this looks fantastic. I love the look of this. He looks great on the back. He looks great in a flying pose. I'm very excited to see how this guy will connect to a Shogun Zord if that happens, Shogun Megazord, because I think that'll look fantastic. There is, however, one last thing we can do with this guy. So he is fully compatible with Legacy Titanus. On the show, they used these to form an Ultra Zord that was never present in the Sentai. So they just used to actually use the original toys and just kind of put some effects behind them on the show, because there was no Ultra Zord for the Sentai that these mecha were taken from, Kakuranger. But they do even show in the directions to go ahead and put him with Titanus, because it was used on the show. And I'll see if I can pick this guy up and move him without destroying my review station. So I think that's really cool. Of course, he can move back and forth just like he's supposed to. Now, the Megazord can't hold the chain, obviously, because it doesn't have opening or closing fists. I guess if you took the face off of the Wolf Zord, like if you wanted to take this off, let me see if I can, you could take that off and then you could open the mouth and then he could hold the chain. So if that's something you're interested in, that's possible. So it looks great. I really love the look of it. Like I said, I'm very excited to see what happens with the Shogun Zord, Shogun Megazord. That hopefully will also fit in here because that was used on the show as well. But I think it looks fantastic. Both of these toys, in my opinion, are a lot of fun. I probably wouldn't buy the Falconzord on its own if I wasn't getting the Ninja Megazord, but having the two together are fantastic. I would think if you could only choose one, definitely go with the Ninja Megazord. That's kind of a no-brainer. That's about $99.99, and the Falconzord is about $64.99. Then a lot of people were kind of confused as to why the Falconzord was so much. It's definitely bigger than any single one of the other Animal Zords. It's definitely not as big as the Ninja Megazord. I mean, I would have loved for like one to be 50 and one to be 100. In my mind, that would have made perfect sense. 65 is a little bit over. Doesn't have any lights or sounds or anything like that. I could definitely understand how those kind of elements would drive the price up. But, I mean, it looks great. It's a nice toy. The extra articulation in the wings is really nice. And it definitely looks fantastic as part of the Ninja Megazord here. If they do move forward with a Shogun Megazord, which I assume they will, I think that the connectability of the Falconzord to that will be even better. It looks great as wings on the Ninja Megazord. The clips on the back that connect it are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they do the job and it works. So I appreciate that you can connect it and disconnect it easily, and I don't have to worry about those clips breaking over time. But you might just have to worry about displaying it like this 100%, because I don't know if over time those clips will give out and it might just pull your Falconzord, just fall right off it, or pull the Megazord down. I'm not 100% sure. But as for right now, they look great together. I definitely like the look of them. The only thing I could possibly complain about is the connection of the Falconzord to the Megazord. But I think when it connects to the Shogun Megazord, it's going to be great because it's got really solid clips here. And I think that connection is going to be really strong. So it might just be display your Ninja Megazord and then display your Falconzord with your Shogun Megazord, because I think that connection is going to be a lot stronger. But only time will tell for sure. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. I think these guys are fantastic. I really hope you've enjoyed this look at the Legacy Falconzord and the Legacy Ninja Megazord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, guys, thank you for watching.